conservative character assassin Andrew Breitbart, best known for his involvement in the Shirley Sherrod fiasco, is at it again. This time his website is going after Democratic Congressman Anthony Weiner of New York. Began on Saturday when Breitbart posted a lewd photo sent through Weiner's Twitter page to a 21-year-old woman in Seattle who follows the congressman's account. Weiner says he was the victim of a hacker, and the picture was quickly deleted. He's hired an attorney to investigate. The intended recipient, Jeanette Cordova, issued a statement saying in part, "I have never met Congressman Weiner, though I am a fan. There have never been any inappropriate exchanges between Anthony Weiner and myself, including the tweet picture in question, which had apparently been deleted before it reached me. I also do not have a clear understanding as to how or why exactly I am involved in this fiasco." We're all wondering the same thing. And yet this afternoon, CNN invited Andrew Breitbart to appear live on its air to explain how he learned of the Twitter message and the photo. Breitbart said they were forwarded to him by another conservative blogger named Dan Wolf, but Breitbart didn't stop there.
He's been monitoring Rep. Weiner for quite some time now because, according to his theory, and I don't know him that well, he's been monitoring relationships that Congressman Weiner has been having with women, young women who claim to have relationships with him. I'm not saying what type of relationships, but people that Rep. Weiner follows, girls that are quite young, younger than the girl in question here, talk openly about Rep. Weiner, who he follows these girls.
Girls that are quite young. And I know a guy who says these things about relationships. Without any evidence, Breitbart just implied Anthony Weiner is an adulterer, and far, far worse. The fact that Breitbart was able to smear Weiner with a baseless attack on live TV was not lost on CNN's own senior legal analyst, Jeffrey Toobin.
What Andrew Breitbart was insinuating about him with young girls and stuff is outrageous. And frankly, it's too bad that he got to say that stuff on CNN.
I agree. And joining me now, MSNBC contributor Alex Wagner of the Huffington Post. Alex, how are you?
I'm great, Chris. How are you?
Alex, when I see clips like this, I want to give up. Seriously, I'm like, it's so preposterous. Am I wrong in my level of outrage that this is just, that this person who's been so discredited so many times, is such a serial manipulator of the media, is allowed to just come on and spout off like this?
It's true. I mean, Andrew Breitbart is not known to be the most self-reflective, remorseful person. I think in that same interview, he talked about the Shirley Sherrod story being a liberal attack on him, and the media using that to cut him up and attack him, and then said that there was some sort of redemptive arc that everybody happened to be missing in the Shirley Sherrod story. You know, look, I think that Andrew Breitbart as a source has been largely discredited. I would say, and I'm as you know, I'm not a sort of opposition researcher for the conservative wing of the Republican Party, but you know, Weiner did have an informal press gaggle today and refused to answer the question about whether he sent this tweet, whether he was following a 21-year-old undergraduate on his Twitter account, and if so, why? And there are, and I'm not saying that he has relations with these women, but it does beg the question, why are you following these young women that have nothing to do with, you know, your political career?
But that's not, I mean, does it beg that question? I mean, look, I saw the same exchange with Dana Bash, and they put out these statements and they said, absolutely categorically, the account was hacked, this was a prank, we're moving on, etc. Okay. I don't know anything about what the actual substance of what happened was. But it just seems to me like there has to be this standard, and now we're going to move into day 2 of this sort of invented scandal in which it's these meta questions about him not answering the questions.
Well, I think you're correct. I mean, I think this idea that we're already putting this guy on trial without having any evidence that he has that any wrongdoing has occurred is legit. But at the same time, you know, Weiner is a savvy guy. He understands how the media works, and to some extent, you wonder, okay, well, if you don't want this to be a distraction, then why don't you just put a nail in the coffin? You know, answer the questions directly and move on. But the fact that he keeps going back to this, I will not answer, it's a distraction over and over again, I think it leaves the American public thinking, you know, sort of scratching their heads thinking, well, maybe there is something here, which is highly unfortunate.
But wait, but but I want to make sure that I'm clear on the facts here, because my sense is that
I don't think anybody's clear on the facts.
No, well, clearly we're not clear on the bottom, the base principle fundamental fact, which is who sent this photo. How are we talking about this photo?
But in the day and age, okay, I will say this. Look, in the day and age of Chris Lee and Facebook, and you have, a litany of Republican sexual harassment and sexual, questionable sexual
we got the shot up. There we go.
You have Chris Lee, you have John Ensign in our collective memory, fresh in our collective memory. To some degree, I think that there's concern that this is part of Andrew Breitbart's larger agenda to balance the ledger. The Republicans have a lot of sex scandals on their side. Maybe the Dems do too. And so there's that, and that obviously leads to its own media frenzy. But I think, congressmen like Anthony Weiner are conducting business over social media, and they are public figures, and they've chosen to get involved in internet phenomenons like Twitter, and as such, there's inevitably going to be some questioning when things like this happen, and they're going to have to answer for it.
Yes, when photos such as that appear on the Twitter account, I agree there will be questioning, but I think girls quite young airway is sprayed about for everyone here. Alex Wagner of the Huffington Post, thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks, Chris.